Let's talk about how much marketing should cost and why some agencies cost way more than other agencies, and why someone charges $500 to build a website and another person charges $5,000 to do a website. So I'm going to be using the example in this of a home builder. And you can kind of apply it to yourself if you're in dental, if you're in remodeling, roofing, whatever it may be. You're going to find this is similar. But let's start off with how much do the average marketing agency charge for a service? We'll start with, like, for instance, Facebook advertising. What I've found in my experience, and I'm speaking right now it's the middle of August in 2025, and I've found this over the last 2 or 3 years as well. But for somebody to run your Facebook ads properly, the average price is around 500 USD a month. And there are agencies that will charge sometimes even more than that, closer to like the 2,000 USD a month mark. But realistically, to run a Facebook advertising campaign, aside from content creation, just launching the ads with, say, 10 different ads, 3 ad sets, 1 campaign, and having this tied into a CRM or a website, however you have the integrations set up, say it's a few basic integrations, it's going to take roughly about 10 hours a month to do properly. And sometimes it's even less than that. But what you want to watch out for when you're looking for somebody to provide this service for you is they're using very general terms. The best way to tell if somebody actually knows what they're doing is to ask them to share their screen with you and open up one of the campaigns that they're watching. Now, if they have the default view of like the cost per lead and the cost per click and like the simple stuff, that is a key indicator that these people do not know what they're doing. Another key indicator is ask them to go into the targeting on one of the ad sets that they're managing. If it's just general interests and their interest stuffing and job title stuffing, that's a good indicator that they don't know what they're doing. If they have no retargeting set up at all, if they don't have a pixel set up or lookalike audiences set up as a targeting, that's a huge red flag and a key indicator that they do not know what they're doing. A good indicator that they know what they're doing is that they can show their screen, they have all of the proper things set up, they're running what are called split tests. They have everything on manual mode, and they know where the placements should be. They know the right targeting should be. They're having multiple different split tests, basically testing ad sets against other ad sets with an indication on why one should continue moving forward versus another. It's called A/B testing, and you could do A/B testing based off of like the cost per click or the cost per lead or the cost per appointment, which cost per appointment, cost per close. These are also not on the default menu, and so what you have to do is create a custom view within Facebook and do like a Zapier integration into the CRM to create that. But these are good indications that people don't know what they're doing. I'm going way into the weeds on this, but I think it's incredibly valuable information. A good price for somebody to run your Facebook ads properly is like 500 to 1,000 USD a month. That's a pretty good price if they know what they're doing. If they don't know what they're doing, you should probably be doing it yourself, or just boosting a post on Facebook. Like if somebody's charging $200 a month for Facebook, they're undercharging. Either they're just trying to really build experience, or they have no idea what they're doing, and they're going to cut a lot of corners and waste a lot of ad dollars that could go towards towards better things in your marketing. Same thing with Google Ads. Google Ads is a whole separate platform, but to set up the proper things within Google Ads and to properly monitor it and adding negative keywords, having the right Google tags in the right places on your website to capture the right people and remarket to the right people. I'm saying right a lot right now, but to do that properly takes a good, again, 8 to 10 hours a month. Realistically, they should be spending probably 30 minutes on your campaign every other day. At least an hour or two a week should go into your campaign to make sure that everything's working properly and they're optimizing it. And, as you get further on, after say 3 months of running it, and you have a pretty dialed in system, that could be cut back to 4 hours, maybe even sometimes like 2 or 3 hours a month. But that first initial quarter, like the first initial 3 months, there's going to be a lot more time put into the Google ads. And so again, that budget of like 500 USD to 1,000 USD a month is a really good price for management. And if they're charging you a setup fee and you haven't signed a 12-month agreement, that is also a justified amount, because the initial work to set up Facebook, the initial work to set up Google ads is a very time-consuming process. And so, a lot of agencies will charge setup fees on that. That's totally something that is industry standard. For the SEO, what is a good amount that companies are charging for SEO? I found in my experience that the average is about 1,000 USD a month. For top level SEO agencies, their standard is like 2,000 to even sometimes 3, 4, 5,000. I think 5,000 is really, really steep. It depends on what kind of link building they're doing. But right now, the number one thing that Google takes into consideration to rank one website above another is the authority score on the domain, which how you increase that is backlinks. And so the most expensive part about SEO is getting quality backlinks that are not blacklisted, that are not bought. So you want to find an SEO agency that is, realistically, the best way to get a high quality backlink is typically bribing and buying them. You go and they'll go and reach out to a company like Yahoo Finance or Business Insider, or sometimes even Forbes magazine, or some of these bigger publications to create a backlink, or they'll join you into local associations which cost money, and those create quality backlinks, which then increase your authority score. Okay, but how much should they be charging? It should depend on how many backlinks they're giving you. If they're charging you like 1,000 to 2,000 USD, you should be getting at least 5 high quality backlinks a month that are above the domain authority of 70. A 70 DA domain authority is a good amount. You want about 5 to 10 of those a month at about 1,000 to 2,000 USD. Anything more than that, you should be getting like 20 to 30 high quality backlinks if you're spending like 4K on SEO. If somebody's charging you like $100 to do your SEO, or like $250, that's scary. Because they're probably cutting corners. They're probably just doing on-page SEO, which is, you can optimize your website and keyword stuff and do blogs and to do all this technical SEO stuff that sounds super fancy, but it's not going to get you ranking faster than a bunch of really high domain authority backlinks would. It's still really important to have all that done, but just doing that alone is not enough to get you to #1 in Google if you're in a competitive industry or trying to rank for competitive keywords. So you want to keep that in mind, that if they're charging like $250, $500 to do your SEO, they're probably cutting corners. They're probably cutting a lot of corners, and they might be outsourcing their work, whatever it may be. Let's move on to a website. How much should a website cost? If you're looking for a high quality website that is going to rank on Google, that is high quality content, the page speed is optimized, the images are compressed, everything is done properly, your schema is done, and the pages are going to index all in, you're going to be on WordPress, on like a 5 to 10 page website, the average cost is going to be about 2,500 USD up to about 3,500 USD. That's about average for like a 5 to 10 page informational style contractor home builder website. That's about standard, is 2,500 to 3,500. Now some companies will charge more. If it's a completely custom coded website, there's a lot more that goes into it, but realistically that's completely unnecessary now in 2025. I would never advise anybody to pay more than $5,000 for a informational website now. It just doesn't take that much work. I mean, it does take work, but it doesn't take that much work to start charging $5,000, $10,000. That's ridiculous for a WordPress website, no matter what they're doing. I don't care how many custom codes or anything that they're doing. If it's an informational website, it should be $2,500 to $3,500. Your hosting should be like maybe if it's managed hosting, like $50 to $100 a month. Billed annually is pretty standard, but anybody building websites on like Wix, on like Shopify, on Squarespace, on GoDaddy, on Google, like Google has their own website builder now, but any of those like really like cheap website builders, I'm gonna call them, really good for if you're just getting started, but never pay more than like $1,000 for one of those websites. Because it's incredibly easy to build a website on those, and you could do one in a single day. It's like maybe like 5 hours of work to build a website on Wix versus to properly build a website on WordPress. You're looking closer to like a 30 to 50 hour project to do properly. Sometimes it even runs longer than that. And that's why that justifiable $2,500 to $3,500 is a lot more justifiable on a website like that, because it's built properly. It's like what would I use as an example for the home building industry? Wix and like Squarespace are like buying a prefabricated home and then doing like the decor on it, or like putting like new decor from IKEA in it and calling that like, I built you a brand new house. No, you didn't. You just gave me, you took the frame and you made it look nice is what you did. Versus WordPress is like building a custom home from scratch. That's going to be my example on that. It's good in the meantime. Like if you're just getting started, you're just a contractor, you don't really care about ranking on Google, Wix, Squarespace, great options. Pay the $500 to $1,000 to get a website built there. But if you really want to rank on Google and you want a website that's going to like get you results and you can customize and have a lot more functionality, WordPress is going to be your best option. Let's talk about what's one of the other things that we can talk about. How much should you be spending on marketing? What I found, and I can speak only very confidently on the construction industry, but 5 to 10% of profits is like the top guys are doing that. If you're really stingy on how much you're putting into marketing, you're not going to get a whole lot out. There's a reason why the top guys are dumping money into marketing. It's because it works. Once you get a predictable system, it gets you into new networks that then you can get more referrals, right? So a lot of guys, when they're just getting started in say building or remodeling, they're completely relying on word of mouth, and referrals is their number one source of new work. What ads allows you to do is to break into new networks so that you can get even more referrals, right? It basically pours gas on the fire. Because with referrals, you start with one person, turns into, some referrals, you're building your web out, right? But with ads, you're reaching people in new networks and you can build new webs. And it's just like, that's how you scale your company is by breaking into those new networks, into people that you would have not got exposed to from your current network of referrals. That's where ads come in. You want to put money into it. If you're a home builder, don't put money into Google ads. It doesn't work as well as Facebook ads. Sometimes it does a little bit depending on your area, how many people are searching for home builders. But what we find works best for construction is Facebook ads and Pinterest ads, because the females in the relationship are oftentimes the decision makers, and they're going to Pinterest to look for inspiration. And so if you can have your ad there of some finished work, it works really well, driving them to your website. And Facebook ads, a lot of the time, it's getting a home built is not an impulse buy. Nobody's making a decision on a custom home builder based off of a Google ad. It's based off of trust is what it is. I'm not giving my $1 million custom home build to the first person that shows up on a Google ad. but I'll give my $1 million custom home build to somebody who I trust. You know what I mean? And the best way to build trust is consistency, which is easy to do through Meta. Nobody's making that decision through Meta either, like $1 million custom home build. But what Meta allows us to do is to collect their information and then nurture them through email and text marketing over the next year, getting your touch points in, sending them valuable resources, staying in front of them, and starting the conversation that then builds the trust. You know, the goal that we have at Home Builder Marketers is to reposition the builders that we work with as the guide within the story of the homeowner. So we're reframing it so the builder is the guide and their homeowner that they're working with is the main character in the story. And so the main character is the homeowner. They're like, hey, I have this problem. I want to live in my dream home. I don't know how to get there. And we introduce the guide, is the home builder that we work with. And they come in and they say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, I'm happy to help you. Let me give you all the information that you possibly could ever need to get to that desired outcome and get over this problem that you're having on not living in your current dream home. Here's some information. You need to know this along the process so that you can get to your desired outcome. That's really how we position it. But go pick up the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Incredible read. We implement all that into the marketing systems that we do for our clients. But yes, okay. So if you are buying packaged services from an agency, there's a lot of different price points that you're going to see. You're going to see some guys are charging $5,000. You know, we have some of our competition, they're charging $5,000 a month for the same thing that we're charging $2,500 for. So why would you pick one over another? I believe there is such thing as overcharging. I believe there also is something called undercharging. You should probably try and find the medium, because if you're overpaying for something, it's going to take a lot more work, no matter how good they're doing, to get you a return on your investment. And if they're undercharging, they are not going to care enough or have the resources enough to give your project the attention that it needs to get you an ROI. But that middle sweet spot is kind of where you want to land. You want to find the guy has been doing marketing for your industry for, at least a few years, has a proven track record, and isn't gouging on price. That's really the goal. That's what you want to find, is kind of that person in between. But keep in mind on this: if they are not transparent, that is a huge red flag. You should be looking for an agency that is radically transparent with everything, with their results, with the people they work with how much they charge, why they charge that. All of these things they should be incredibly transparent with, so that you have no questions that they can't answer or won't answer. That's a really good indicator to figure out how good an agency is and how ethical they are. Because if they're hiding things, that's a red flag. Don't work with them. But if they have everything out in the open, pricing's on the website, they have past clients and all that, that's a really good sign. You should probably reach out to them, learn more, and maybe eventually even work with them. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on how much marketing should cost. A breakdown on SEO, Facebook ads, Google ads, websites, all that fun stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you're looking at hiring a marketing agency, whether it's us or you're working with not a coach, but a marketing agency or marketing expert specific to your industry, I'm happy to help give you some insight on whether you should hire them or not, because there's a lot of sketchy business practices when it comes to marketing, people cutting corners, undercharging, overcharging. I'd be happy to help you with that. But here at Home Builder Marketers, we are on a mission to help 10,000 home builders get to more than 10 custom homes sold per year. So if you align with that and you want more content like this, where we are choosing to be that radically transparent marketing agency, give this video a like, follow the channel for more great videos like this. Thanks for watching.